Wassail, beautiful people. So, I've been ill. I'm never ill. And it's interesting, I had food poisoning and I don't eat meat and things, as you know, so I don't remember the last time I ever had food poisoning. Um, and there it was. I made some tamales myself with banana leaves, and I think maybe the banana leaves had something bacterial on them. And even though I cleaned them and washed them, my stomach couldn't digest them. And this lasted all day. I couldn't. My stomach felt really uncomfortable, and then I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. And then suddenly, this area here, I couldn't breathe. And eventually, I had to get up and force myself to vomit. And it was very cleansing. And then I spent the whole of the next day in bed just trying to chill, just drinking water all day. And again, I'm not someone that ever does a fast. I like food, but I couldn't do it. And what's interesting is it feels very much like this story I've been telling you about cleaning the astral. This was linked to cleaning the astral. You clean the astral and then you purge the body. There are energies, I think, that are caught within us that are all part of that frequency. So I've had lots of weird dreams. In the reading I did where the hummingbird turned up, and I said, you need to go to the astral and you need to meet this ancestor as a needy child and you need to reject them. I had that dream myself the following two nights later. And I was living somewhere in the Arctic Circle and there were lots of shooting stars. And I went into this house that wasn't very nice, but it was where I was currently living. And it was a mess and I didn't feel like I owned or anything belonged to me. And there was a pram with a baby in it, a very tiny baby. And I picked it up. It was needy. And I was thinking, I don't have food for this baby. I need to take it somewhere and say, I found a baby. I think you ought to find where its parents are. And I feel that that was me in many ways failing in the astral to clean up the ancestor who came across as needy. But the point being that there is something about the ancestor frequencies in the astral and in our blood that are way more difficult to deal with. So I'm going to begin there. I might do it as two separate readings, we'll see. I'm going to ask about this ancestral cleaning, but first of all, I'm going to begin with this deck. Ancestral cleaning. Oh, I'm getting a bit hot now. You see, I wasn't going to do any readings today, but as I say, I had like a double sweat to purge my body, and also always, when I have a sweat, I always know that the illness is gone. I mean, I'm still a bit vulnerable in the stomach. I'm eating very plain foods. But there was something about Dolly Parton frequency, which is she apparently does a long fast before composing music so that she's a little bit physically weak to reach up higher to her muses. I don't usually do that. I just reach my muses with a full belly. And I do feel energetically not quite there, and yet I feel I've got to do this. So, this astral cleansing, this baby, this dream, moon cycle, it's to do with this full moon. And that's interesting because I was going to do that as a separate reading, as I just said, the full moon. There's a lot going on with this moon. Maybe I just need to admit that I'll just do a longer video. So I was trying to do it shorter because A, I don't think I've got the energy, but also because people don't watch videos all the way through. They stop after about 10 minutes, and I do really long videos sometimes. So this baby, I've got to take this off. I'm so hot. Before I take it off though, I just wanted to make a little joke. Look, I've got a Pan Gregory collar, like malevolent, from Snow White. She always has those collars on. So let me just take this off. Oh God, I'm really hot suddenly. I've not been hot for days. Well, maybe I was hot when I went into a lathered sweat. So this baby, I've got Mystical Shaman and Crow. And they're both looking at the moon. It's the energy I'm getting from this is the energy of ancestor in the astral realm is blocking your ability to connect with your true mystical shaman. But what I'm noticing now is there's a divine 9 hidden in between. So you got 3, 1, 3, 8, 1, 3. So between the 2 threes, between mirroring, coming into an energy. Oh, and that's the other thing. There's something today, since I woke up, about new frequencies of things coming in pairs, of things changing, of partnerships, of relationships, of mirrored energies that's all around. So I had this t-shirt on, obviously, this morning, because I've still got it on. And I was thinking about how when I ordered this deck, the company that you order it through didn't deliver. I accidentally paid twice. I never got any refunds. And I was thinking what a shame that was, and how important, if you're making decks, to really watch the sales of things, because they didn't say that when I paid, I don't know, $100 or more to have it delivered, that there would be an additional import charge when it got to Portugal. And so I never got the cards, and I'd paid twice. So I spent about $250 trying to get a deck of cards that never came. But it inspired me to sit down and start making my own decks, because I thought, well, if I can't find a deck I want, then I'll make my own. But the company was called White Squirrel, the delivery company that deliver them on behalf of the artist. And as I thought about them, White Squirrel, I noticed a squirrel in the garden. I've never seen a squirrel in the 6 weeks I've been here. And so it was like seeing a new creature, and it was a grey squirrel, but it had a kind of very buff brown body. And then a second squirrel followed it. So it was there in a pair. And what was really weird was one of them stopped. It went past and knocked a rose at the bottom of a tree, started climbing up the tree, turned round and then knocked the rose towards it to smell the rose. And that idea of the symbol of the rose being a frequency of love, and it being 2 squirrels. And then I sat in the garden, and there was a bird very similar to this blue colour. It was a particular kind of jay, appeared with a white symbol above its eye that made it very visible. And then I'd never seen one of those before, and it was in a pair. And then it was 2 hummingbirds. So there's something about pairing up. It's an energy, I think, generally about how we've all gone to look inside, and now we need to look outwards. And I think it's got a lot to do with Chiron having been in a triple sextile this year with Saturn. So it's like an energy of the wound being open to be healed. And it begins with this lunar eclipse. That's the beginning of the passageway through this healing frequency. I think I picked up the baby because it wasn't the right time to ignore the baby in the dream. And it's very hard to ignore a vulnerable baby. So, what else would you like to tell us, please, about the vulnerable baby dream? The vulnerable baby dream. The vulnerable baby dream. The vulnerable baby dream knocked the bells of Neptune. So we've got 3 more cards on this one. Oh, look, it's interesting. Let me just show you them. And what's interesting is these 2 I saw. Oh, no, sorry. These 2 I saw, but they were the second 2 out. This one came out but was face down. So I saw drum, and then I saw owl. So again, we're looking at spirit trying to activate your individualism, your truth, this, blowing this energy, pushing away the frequency of the ancestor energy in the astral, so that you can enter your energy. And it's a soul retrieval of the aspect, the fragment of their soul that's blocked and caught up in the astral. But this is about your soul teaching them how to come out of this chrysalis, teaching them how to let go of their echo in the ancestral. And then I think you will go through some kind of physical emanation of what you've cleaned up in the astral. They're linked in some way, and they're linked to the biome. So let's move on and ask, well, let's not ask as such, let's just open the new deck and see what the new deck has to say. It's interesting that I was doing a little sort of personal reading just the day before I got my illness, and a card came out. Well, a load of cards fell out, but only one was face up, and it was a card that the Aquarius, the one that talks about an acidic discomfort. And I was like, well, that's not my reading, is it? I'm never ill. And there it was, trying to tell me something. So Pluto has turned over. I feel like that one wanted to come as well. Let's see what we've got. Oh, now that's interesting. We've got Moon in Aries, and right now, today, it is Moon in Aries. Oh, and then solar eclipse. So Pluto is the spine. It's the backbone, but I think the relevance of Pluto, and I'm going to use runes on these cards today, and I'm going to read them in their sections. So the other two that we have, just so that you've seen them, we have Sappho with Moon in Aries. It is a Moon in Aries today, but it won't be on the full moon. It will be giving way to Taurus. And then we have the solar eclipse. So I'm going to take the runes and ask the runes to explain each of the relevances, because they're definitely not just one story, they're fragments of a story. Pluto's interesting because there's a lot more planets coming around at the moment into an asteroids into Capricorn. So we have Venus in Capricorn at the moment, so there'll be a link there, and that's interesting. Oh, also Eros is almost bang on Pluto, I believe. Where's Pluto? Pluto's at 24, Eros is at 25. And that would explain why I've been getting that energy of love around Pluto. A really kind frequency. That's too many. I'm not taking that many. That's more like it. So what do we have? Oh, you see, look. Os and Tyr. Pluto is acting as a kind of God energy, as a source energy, as a profound energy to bring about Tyr, change. Tyr, in the original Germanic pantheon of runic gods, was one of the most important gods. It was relegated by the time we got to Scandinavia in favour of Odin, and he became a lesser god. But the energy within Tyr is a profound kind of hidden energy, and it's almost saying that Pluto is the dominant character ultimately just now, working on changing the frequency of things. It's like Tyr is taking off a mask and going, "Oh, you all forgot who I am." So there's some kind of energy with Tyr and Pluto. Tyr's an energy of sacrifice. Tyr's an energy of enormous kindness. Tyr understands human nature. So there's something about the godly energy of Pluto recognizing trauma in people. That's interesting. So let's look at Sappho and Moon in Aries, which is right now. Sappho is sensual expression. And as I say, I do get this feeling that there's an energy coming upon us of coming back together. Lagoon, cosmic ocean. The moon is, it's almost like the moon right now, just prior to this eclipse tunnel opening, is giving us a poetic energy, an expressive energy, an ability to reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. It's that energy. That's what's being offered just before this eclipse. God, I've not thought of that song forever. Don't even know who sung it. So, yeah, look. This is what's coming in this tunnel, a giant tunnel, in which we gut something, in which we resolve discomforts. And that's very much what my physical illness was, resolving discomforts within me. So just looking at the energies, look, it doesn't take much to take this portal and allow this energy in. It's quite close. They're working in a very uniquely comforting way, but they're out of order because they're 2-1-3. So they're trying to bring about a reordering. To get to this, to get to the gutting, to allow the new seed in, is quite a large leap of faith that we have to take. A huge amount of trust that we have to exert into the world. You see, I'm absolutely sweating again. Maybe it was a bad idea to come here and try and do a card reading. I'm going to keep going. I don't feel like... do you know what? I'm going to put them down. There's 4. It is the solar eclipse energy. There's a galactic opportunity at the end of this tunnel. But I think these cards are about how we go through the tunnel. It's a journey. We have to go through this journey. We have to step into the tunnel. We have to engage with the tunnel. So, okay. So, this expression, write a poem, write words, find a way to create a spell, a Galdir magic that you can say to the moon while it's in Aries right now, and it will be moving into Taurus when some of you are watching this. So it doesn't matter that it's moved into Taurus, but the idea is this is representing pre-lunar eclipse moon. Tell the moon what you'd like to achieve as you go through this tunnel. So, you see, now I'm reminded of why we're here. They've been giving me information about how you look at moon rituals. So this really is trying to teach us a ritual to enter this lunar eclipse. Now, if you think about the fact that this is a moon with the sun in Scorpio, so that means it's a water-birthed moon. It was birthed in water. And then you need to think about how the Taurus full moon aspect of it is an earth energy. Oh, hang on, I wrote something about the earth. There's something about, there's 14 earth energies, elements within the chart, the astro chart. At this point, it's a very incredibly earthed moon, but you have to water the earth with your dreams. Now that was something that's just come out from Reem, when she was channeling one of the runes that I'm typing up at the moment. We have to water the earth with our dreams. So that's what you need to do. You need to write, and I would say paint with watercolors if you can. If it feels like you need to be mixing water into a paint and then applying it to paper or to a stone or to a piece of anything, a piece of wood, but whatever it is that you do, it has to be something of the earth as such. I know everything's of the earth, but what I mean is you need to sense that this thing that you write, you're going to, on the eclipse, when the lunar eclipse, when the shadow comes, you need to galdeer, you need to give speech to this energy as a moon ritual, and then you need to bury the paper, the stone, whatever it is that you've written on, you need to bury it. I mean, in many ways, I think perhaps a really nice way of doing it would be to make yourself like a little scroll, get 2 twigs, write on a piece of paper, stick the paper or somehow attach the paper to the twig, or even with string, but roll it around a stick, tie it up, because that's part of the energy of our Yggdrasil tree, to be part of wood. Then you bury it and then you water it and maybe plant some seeds with it, plant something that can grow at some other time. But you need to, it's about a ritual of engaging with the energy of rebirth with the planet. So the journey into the eclipse is going to be an emotional bleed, because we have to get rid of toxic emotions. I find it fascinating that completely, without my knowledge, I don't think I really thought about this one, but it's number 72. I mean, I thought about the order of them. I didn't think always about the numbering of all of them, but 72 makes emotional bleed very divine as a frequency. And I did think that my illness was part of a purging of things like a year's grief that needed to be vomited out of me. It could be recent frequencies of moving. There's all kinds of things it could be, but the point was to engage with it and to release it. As I said, I'm never ill, and I'm rubbish at being ill. It irritates me, and so it was interesting that for a change I engaged in it. I just went, I can't do anything. I just need to admit that I feel really ill and I need to go to bed. And I hate lounging around in bed. I can't see the point of bed. So there will be a huge journey of emotional bleeding in this Janus Neptunus, this tunnel, and it feels like it's bleeding ancestral stories, ancestral echoes that affect your way of living, the way in which you've always thought about yourself. But by giving your ritual, by saying, Moon, I am ready to engage with this opportunity. Now remember, all planetary movements, they're not instant. You're not going to get some kind of resolution in the tunnel necessarily. It's most likely going to be a 6-month period as you head all the way to the next tunnel. But you need to engage in the mystical frequencies inside the Janus Neptunus, the eclipse tunnel, from the 19th of November to the 4th of December. Then we have, again, Sun. So within these 2 cards, the journey is towards the light. Towards the light. Next year it's towards the darkness. It's going to be interesting. But Right now, we're moving towards the light. We're bringing our life force, cleaning up our life force and bringing ourselves towards a new opportunity. And then we have two more, and these are quite interesting because I just glanced at them. It's Egishelmur and Anwoodness. I can't even begin to express how magical talisman those two energies are. They're incredible. To clear the present means that you've dealt with the past and you've unblocked your future so that you're in the moment, even if you're only in the moment for the 2 weeks, to clear everything out. That's what you have to do. But you've got the Helm of Oil, you've got the wheel shield protecting your frequency. It's this is the galactic opportunity, the chance to clear your present so that you walk fully in the now. You're not seeking what will I be in a year, because you've already stated through your wordsmithery with the pre-eclipse moon, you've galdeered it, you've spoken it, and then on the moon you're burying it. So you speak before, you cast the opening chord of Music of the Spheres magic that relates to gutting and stripping your life so that you can receive a new seed, and you plant new seeds at the beginning of the tunnel so that you can grow forwards. You don't need to go back and check whether the seeds have grown. That's for the world, the universe, nature to decide in its own way. But that's really what you're working on. So that's the full moon. I'm going to do another little read and just see whether it wants to tell us what happens past that. Oh, well, I don't know what it wants. I'm not going to ask necessarily. I'm just going to let it be and do. And that will be and do enough for us. Just need to put all the cards back in here separately so that they don't fly out again. These back. I haven't added yet the new 13, but with the illness I couldn't think of anything. So let's have the bells. We didn't do the bells. You need to remind me. I'm ill, I can't remember things. If I'm honest, they were just very cleansing. Very, very cleansing. So, cards. Do you have any further messages around this lunar eclipse that might be of help to us? That's funny in itself. Universal seed, Earth. The Earth is the universal seed. In terms of our present lives in the now. It doesn't matter what's out there in the entire cosmos. Yes, the energies will affect things, but the universal seed is new songlines being formed here on Earth where we live. And this is an 8, it's a change. 26, there's something about the 27th. What's the 27th that I remember? Oh, there's been a triple sextile that's been going on that's about healing these wounds, and that's why we can do this in this tunnel, because on November the 22nd there's an exact sextile between Saturn and Chiron, and Chiron and Saturn have done 3 sextiles this year, the 9th of February, the 24th of June and November the 22nd, and also on the 20th of December Chiron's stationary direct, because it's been retrograde. So there's and that's just, a day after Venus turns retrograde. There's so much going on cosmically, so many shifts and shunts. So we've got this universal seed. We've got a change in the songline frequencies. What else do you want to say about that? What's causing it? Are we part of it? Moon in Aquarius, emotional freedom. You see, Moon in Aquarius is about letting go. The moon will be in Aquarius for a long time after that. Moon in Aquarius, calf, ankles, Achilles. Oh, it's about where we walk. Where we walk. It's that energy again of stepping, each footstep, each treadle energy that we push into the earth needs to be filled with that sense that we just had of watering the earth with your dreams. Walking the earth, an earth walk with the confidence that you and the earth are together. There's a whole bunch of cards fallen, but I'm interested in the fact that the top one is Taurus. It is the full moon in Taurus, and it's congelation, to thicken, to make something more viscous. So it's to bring a greater sense of strength and reality to your dreams during this thing. So instead of believing that dreams are just something weird that happens at night, they're a kind of layered, they're kind of like a layered map of possibilities that you can bring into the real world, that you can make happen around you. And it's all about bringing our dreams into a stronger reality, walking, watering the earth with our dreams. So there's two cards that have come out. Interesting. The delivery man coming. Look, we've got Chiron and Phallus. So Chiron is the nervous system and primal wounds. And as I said, there is something about 27. I know that's 26, but it's what made me remember. Oh, and that's interesting. Taurus and Chiron are again bringing me the reminder of this 2 energy. We're definitely being reminded of 2022. We're entering a phase of enormous change. 2021's been a difficult year. 2022 is a 6. It's bringing things into balance. And this is the law of unintended consequences. So what we're going to do again, we're going to bring... we'll bring runes in for each of the symbols, just to take us a little bit further into these themes. It's interesting that we're about to, when we come out of the eclipse tunnel, we're in Sagittarius, which is Centaur energy. Phallus and Chiron are both Centaurs. So there's some kind of unimaginable or undreamable even change coming towards us from Phallus. Things that have been taking shape in the world, beliefs that have been formed and structured that will bring unintended consequences of change. There we go. Interesting. So the first card we have with the earth, the seed, is the card we just had. Gatan, to gut, to resolve issues, but to plant the seed. And that's where that energy came from. The universal seed has to be replanted and rewatered. And it's stankness. It's being brought to a level where we become, oh, looky. It's the mirror. It's the energy of the 2 coming back. So it's 6226 or 2662, which is 8 and 8, which is 16, which is a 7. And Phallus the law of unintended consequences is you plant a seed, you don't know what grows from it. You believe you can, but the seed has its own DNA, it has its own memory. It will grow into what it's meant to be according to what you believe you've put on it, but what the energies of the cosmos shine down and create as the truth. So there's a test on us in the tunnel which will embark upon the new journey into 2022. So Moon in Aquarius, this emotional freedom, and Taurus. So the first card to come out, 6 and 6, which is another 12. We're getting more of these numbers that keep pointing us to 2s. But this is staticness. We're static when we're emotionally stuck. And the Moon in Aquarius is saying to us it's time to walk the earth with an emotional freedom. Don't allow the thoughts and processes and notions of others to dictate the way you walk in the earth. And then what do we have here? The way you walk in the earth, a treadle. I mean, I just mentioned that and thought it would be beautiful if the card came out to show us that it's about the steps we leave behind. Treadle is the energy of soul prints. What frequency do you leave behind you every time you walk? Do you just trudge? Do you just wander to spaces? Do you maybe get into a car and just drive places and leave no trace of your memory, of your energy, your physicality in the space? I sometimes walk and draw the dragon lines, write the song lines with my thought processes as I stroll. And we've got Yggdrasil tree, personal Yggdrasil tree, ash tree, and it's a 26 again. So now we've got 262662. And that's an energy of balance coming into contact with a mirror or an energy that matches us, that test that goes under. It's almost, I want to say that there's something about the, like, I've been ill, I've been sick, and I've purged. Therefore, that toxicity has left me. So my odour, my scent changes within the world because I've purged something out. And it may be that it's to do with the wounds of Chiron that we have. Maybe this is an opportunity, this kind of flirty, exciting ask. I think that's the energy. Let me just look at sextile, because I've only just put this deck together. But there's something important about the sextile. I'm sure it was written as, and it'll be interesting just to see what's either side of it. Okay, so yeah, it is. It's flirty, friendly, ask, and that's what it's not so much it's asking, it's kind of the Galdia poem that you make and tell the moon. What's either side of it is square, discomfort, and the swan transformation of arsenic. So it is just reminding us that that is the possibility with sextiles. It's time to transform the hurt into something blissful. So let's go to the runes Phallus and Chiron. Phallus and Chiron. Phallus and Chiron. I want to say I'm completely aware that I've got like a... when I sit on this bed, it's got a really hard mattress and it's making my bum go numb. So, what do we have? We've got 2 on each. I don't know which are which. Let me just look. It feels like this. So this is Chiron. So Chiron, it's almost like it's saying that the wounds of Chiron are what grip us to the earth, but in an ego aspect that doesn't allow you to engage with humankind. And that's interesting, because for a long time there's been a message which is, to help humanity you have to help yourself. You do. You have to move past your wound now. You have to let go of your wound. You have to work out why your wound bothers you. I just need to write something down, except I don't think I've got a pen. Damnation. I'll leave them out. I need to remember the year 1120. Oh, that's interesting. It's just that numerology is playing an important role, but myself, Man and Chiron 2022. And that's coming across as February 2022, which I know is the Pluto return on America. But this is something about the wound. The wound is an enabler of your ego to want to be alive. The wound is the enabler of your desire to do things, to engage in feeling alive. The wound is the enabler that leads you down dark corridors. The wound is what leads you to suffer. But all of that is to waken you eventually from the chaos. So Chiron delivers you a chaotic fog, just like Neptune. Remember, this is the Janus Neptunus. This is the passageway, this eclipse tunnel into the ancestral stories. But these are old wounds that have repeated generationally. And they've kept us all caught in a state of considering only ourselves and not the fullness of a community. And then cards that came out just now, and I put them back in separate places, but these are 16 and 17, but actually they're written as 17 and 16. So Phallus, the law of unintended consequences, is how things change, how things smelt. It's like the heat, the fires build. And it's interesting that I haven't checked, but on the full moon lunar eclipse, there is no fire. There's no new ideas. There's just old emotions, damaged emotions. Because there's something like 14 earth, 8 water and 5 air. So the editing suite that you have available to deal with the static old footsteps that you've left behind you, that you've not got a great deal available as this editing, as this opening energy comes upon us. But the point is, there is an energy when we come out where Phallus is smelting. Oh, I always hold them up the wrong way when I'm picking them up for the camera. Phallus is smelting during and after for the next 6 months to return a new structured life force that's got unintended consequences that we can't even imagine. So I'm just going to ask, what might they be? Now let's go to the other deck just to end. I might do both. What might the unintended consequences be? What might the unintended consequences be? What might... That's too many. I'm keeping the ones that are face down. What are the unintended consequences? Oh. I need to put them in the order that they came out, which is a little bit difficult. So the unintended consequences. a distillation. I'm picking up the energy of distilling the darkness of the soul. Distilling, taking all of the chaos that's within the soul and distilling it to make a more powerful energy of light, a more powerful energy of awakening, and to take, it's like burning away anger. The next card is Moon in Pisces, passive sensitivity. Again, this energy of feet and toes, walking the world in a new way, walking differently. And how does this happen? Well, we've got the energy of Sagittarius. Remember, the solar eclipse part of this, and the majority of the tunnel itself, the eclipse tunnel, is in Sagittarius. And this is ceration. Ceration is when you cook something for a long time, but through the cooking it through the application of endless gentle heat and dripping some kind of emotions into things, pushing new emotions through, creating new energetic thoughts till the difficulty, the chaos becomes soft and waxy, so that you can actually remold it. You can take the soft wax and you can change it into some new energetic form that's more beneficial. So, what it's about the moon, but the moon here is coming across as an intuition that you know this is possible, you know this is doable, you know it's creatable, but there's something about it's like the serration, the making more pliable, and that's interesting, of the veil itself. Like the veil needs to be molded into a new shape to let new energies come through. And it ends with Chiron's partner. Again, that partner energy is very important in 2022. It's all twos. If people don't start finding, frequencies of better relationships with people, and I don't just mean love, I mean just better relationships on a one-to-one basis with people next year, then they're just, I don't know why they wouldn't. It's the most beautiful energy for coming together as a whole, as a community. But this is the graceful enforcer of boundaries, Chariklo. So part of our wounds, whatever they are in their primal sense, with Chiron, that make us grip to life and see the darkness, ultimately the solution to them is to learn to enforce our own boundaries better. And that includes being told by people who we vote in as our politicians that what they're saying do is unacceptable. We need, they're meant to represent us, and somehow we need to tell them, we need to gracefully enforce our boundaries so that they stop stepping over the mark and they create a society that is a 2-2-2. 2-0. 2. People come together. The 0 is to birth some new cosmic concept, that this seed, the universal seed, and then you get 20, you get 2 and 2. Again, that energy of coming together, of working in harmony, and the whole thing adds up to 6, a balanced frequency. So, that's the reading, I guess. Oh, go on then, just a rune at the end. I didn't want to make it this long. No one will reach the end. So, would you like to just give us a little tail end? No, not 26 tail ends. Just the last message as we head through the eclipse. That's really great. It's too exciting. I love these cards. I can't wait for them to be available properly to you. Burst out. Bursten. It's time to burst out. 55. You know, that's a completion and a new beginning of absolute change, and it's come back again. This is a divine moment by the cosmos where we are protected to experience change, and to experience change in a beautiful, calm and safe way. So that was lovely. I enjoyed that. If you made it to the end, you know that there's double protection. The Egelschalmur is here. What's our beautiful people?